of course, failed to deliver at Portman Road, losing 4-3, goodness gracious me, in a thrilling game, which could have been a bazillion times worse for Rovers. That's right. If you're new, of course, make sure you subscribe, smash your thumbs up. You're one-stop shop here for Rovers. But we came out of this, I think, with a little bit more pride than we did at halftime, of course, but it looked very, very rough. Of course, with Ipswich Town scoring very early, incredibly early, in fact, I think within the first 3 minutes of the match. Ipswich are the real deal without being the real deal. And what I mean by that is, they've got, the team is still, I'm going to hold my own here, despite coming out of this with absolutely nothing. I still think it's a bunch of who are these guys? Question marks. You don't know too much about them. They're, of course, some players, League One team last season. But guess what? They bought into the McKenna mindset. And of course, they're playing their way. They're playing as a unit, playing as a team. You could look at Rovers, some sort of players, your Dolans, maybe even your Morans or whoever. Some players aren't really buying into the JDT philosophy, and it was very much apparent at the back there, as of course leaking 3 goals in the first 25 minutes. Even George Barndorhurst finding the back of the net in, of course, a very ropey first half. 2-0 down. Actually, no, it wasn't 2-0 down. Scrap that. It was 1-0 down first. Clark with an absolute ripper. Corner, set piece, what have you, from Ipswich. Ball comes out in a crowded sort of 18-yard box. And, of course, Clark bammed that bad boy home to give them the lead. Then, guess what? Our Icelandic sensation. Woo! Yeah, Icelandic clap. Let's do it. He got off, played one, scored one. That's what we want to see. He did look like a badger's like he's been on a night out the last night. He looked a little bit ropey, a little bit hanging out of his arse. But he got a goal. That's all that matters. He only played the 45 minutes. So, let's not rush him into it. But there's a player there. A lot of good touches. Him and Smodic were linking up nicely. It was just the midfield. There seemed to be no midfield. And I think that was a JDT call on this one. You come into a place where a team that's flying high in Ipswich Town and you play you don't really change much in midfield. You probably should have put in Tronstad for an Adam Wharton, who was very much ineffective in that first game. So I would have done that looking back. But, of course, Adam Wharton was, kind of stepped it up in the second half. Anyway, 1-1, of course. Then Nathan Broadhead got a goal on the 18th minute to put them in front. And, again, it was very precise, very cutthroat and just clinical. Just what we weren't or have not been. So 2-1 it was. Then it got worse, of course. Worse because it was George Hurst who made it 3-1. And it pretty much put the game to bed at that stage. We were going in at the break with our tails between our legs and thinking, what's going to go on here? But credit where credit's due by Rovers, clinging themselves back in the second half. We won the second half, 2-1. We'll give ourselves that a little nugget of joy. The goal, for me, was Harry Leonard. Ball in the box, of course, a bit of a calamity, and Leonard was in amongst it. They are saying a Harry Clark own goal, but I'm not having it. That was Leonard, so it's 2 for 2 for him. So let's take that bit of positivity as well. And then Sammy Smodic with an absolute barn door blast. That's how you score a goal to get 3-3. And we looked like we could even snatch a winner here. But guess what? Massimo Luongo coming out on top with another goal there, the fourth and the 7th goal of the day. 2 of those Ipswich Town goals, you could say were down to Pears. The second one by Nathan Broadhead. Pears comes out of the box, makes a right old mess of it, and then doesn't get back to his positioning right. And then, of course, Broadhead punts that ball home from a good range. And then Massimo Longo, again, a bit of a calamity at the back. I think Pears punches it, slaps it, whatever it is. Not good clearance, straight to Luongo, and he rifles that home. So 2 of them really should come down to the goalkeeper's fault. So he's got to hold his hand up, and he's got to take his punishment. Remember when Kaminski took his punishment, he was out or whatever, and then Pears took his chance. Give the Swede a go. We played a handful of games now. It's time to see what the Swede is all about. Is he the real deal, or is Pears the real deal? But it is a much better scoreline for us, 4-3, than what it could have been. It could have been 6 or 7-1. It could have been a Plymouth Argyle, Norwich City scoreline at the end there. But we come out of this with a little bit of pride. We give them a game, and it's just the 1 goal there, of course. But Ipswich, fair dues for them. They are playing as a team, playing as a unit. Rovers look very ropey, and of course also looked a little bit under par fitness wise. So maybe, just maybe, change it up for Cardiff, give a lot of these guys a rest for Leicester at Ewood Park. Early kickoff, all eyes on this next week. And of course, we will be looking forward to that game and maybe even have a vlog on that as well. But until then, guys, that's it. We go away, and I think right here, right now, as of recording, we're going to be down there by 16th or something. We're actually in 14th right now, as results have been a little bit kinder for us. We're above Southampton, which of course could also be an interesting week for them ahead. Until then, though, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the little bell. Of course, we're trying to get up to the big fat number of 30,000 subscribers. We're at 89 away, and you could help us out if you could just smash that button and do us a favour. Of course, non-stop content for Blackburn Rovers all the way through here. And of course, we'll have a review, and we'll also have a fan reaction, all that kind of jazz later. But until then, we're done.